ABC24 This Week starts right now.
Hello, and thank you for watching ABC24 This Week. I am your host, Pepper Baker. You are here for the real stories behind the big stories, and I hope you'll continue to join us every Sunday at either 9 a.m. or 10:35 p.m. All right, let's see who is at the table today. As always, ABC24 political analyst Otis Sanford. We have Susan Thorpe from Thorpe Communications, and we have Reverend Kenneth Whalum from New Olivet Worship Center. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right, let's get to the topics. First, a judge dropped the federal lawsuit against Tennessee's new congressional map, marking another state win, but the NAACP is not giving up yet. Second, we will discuss both candidates for Shelby County Sheriff's solutions to fix the jail and what they had to say about the Memphis Safe Task Force's presence in Memphis. And lastly, Memphis City Councilman's comments about AutoZone Park funding did not sit well with the Redbirds. We'll get into that, and we'll also talk about Otis's new book, Newsman, The Road from Route 2, Box 9. All right, back to number one. On Tuesday, a federal judge dropped the lawsuit against Tennessee's new congressional map at the request of the Democrats who filed it. The Tennessee Democratic Party, Congressman Steve Cohen, State Rep Justin J. Pearson, and other plaintiffs asked to withdraw the case. The lawsuit argued the state's new congressional district harmed voters and weakened political representation. The plaintiffs say recent court rulings influenced their decision to drop the challenge, but they could pursue future legal action if the legal landscape changes. Last month, a panel of judges dismissed a lawsuit filed by the NAACP in state court, but the organization isn't giving up yet. On Thursday, the NAACP filed a motion asking the U.S. District Court for the Middle District of Tennessee to stop the enforcement of the map before the 2026 elections in August. The group argued the new congressional voting map violates the 14th and 15th Amendments regarding citizenship and voting rights. They also claimed the goal of the map was to target black voters and deny them the ability to elect a candidate of their choice. So there's another lawsuit as well. The ACLU is still in play here. But Otis, I will open it up to you. So what does it tell you that prominent Democrats are requesting to have the case dropped?
Well, it was a matter of timing here because in the original lawsuit, the plaintiffs wanted a temporary restraining order or a preliminary injunction to stop it at that point. Once they did not get that, then the clock started ticking, and they just felt that it was going to be a moot point. If you have to go and argue the merits of the case and then let it play out, we'd be up on August 6th anyway. And so they gave up that lawsuit. But as you said, there's still some other cases out there. At this point, I doubt that we will stop this runaway train of dividing up Memphis and Shelby County into 3 congressional districts. But there are some arguments there to be had. One of them, very briefly, is that when the governor called this special session, under law, he had to say exactly what was going to be done at that special session. He did not say everything that was going to be done because he did not mention that they were going to change a lot of the other laws to allow the redistricting to go forward.
Wow.
But they changed 2 or 3 laws, including the residency requirement and including even redistricting in the middle of a decade. So those arguments have to be made. I don't know that a judge is still going to overturn it, though.
Susan, I asked you before all of this early on, you know, what had the best chance? I think it was this panel where I was like, what stood the best chance?
You mean the A team? It was the A team?
What stood the best chance about challenging these congressional maps? And you said lawsuits, you know, do stand the best chance, but we're not really seeing any success here.
Well, I think they have to rely on the lawsuits. And as Otis said, the best chance to overturn what the legislature did was through the courts. I think that Congressman Cohen and Justin Pearson and the other plaintiffs in the lawsuits that they dropped are realistic. You know, they're all going to, in my opinion, I think we need to pursue those lawsuits. There's always, you know, there's an old saying, as long as there's life, there's hope. But I think that if you're going to be realistic about it, just as the congressman was, that they're all going to face the same fate, that even if one of the lower courts, federal courts, rules in favor of the plaintiffs, it's going to make its way up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court that we have now is going to rubber stamp any change that will eradicate democratic history. So,
yeah.
Lawsuit.
Go ahead.
Lawsuits? That's the strategy? Lawsuits? More lawsuits? That's the strategy?
Do you got a better one?
What else do you have?
I have fact that in the decades since, let's say, since the federal lawsuit that stopped I-40 from going through the
Overton Park.
residential neighborhoods and set Overton Park aside, which took years and years. Lawsuits take time, as both of you have said. Okay, let's stay on that track, as both of you have said. But what it also points out is that we, and I'm talking about the NAACP, I'm talking about elected officials in Memphis, which includes me at some point, we have failed to bring Memphis to a place where she won't be so dependent upon lawsuits to get justice. And Otis is if it weren't for Otis's brilliance and presentation of these facts, I wouldn't be making this point. Otis always complains about low voter turnout. I do. And the fact that we have perpetually underperformed in terms of black folk voting is why we are where we are today. So at this stage in the game, it makes no sense to complain. Do the best you can, vote for who you want to vote for, run if you want to run, and hold the ones we elect accountable for improving our city. We are on the precipice of a very, very dangerous time in Memphis.
Well, you're right. You get what you vote for, but you also get what you don't vote for.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
Exactly.
But at this stage, we're talking about lawsuits, and do we have any hope of overturning what the state legislature has done? And to be realistic, we can go back and we can say what happened in the past was wrong and we're foolish as we go forward. But right now, the truth is, the chances are we're going to have 3 congressional districts,
Absolutely.
what used to be the 9th.
Oh, absolutely.
Go ahead, Otis.
Well, I'm going to keep repeating this. Despite what the state legislative leaders say about why they did this was racism pure and simple. And I will continue to say that until I can't speak anymore. This was Jim Crow racism 2.0. They had the numbers to do it. They were following the orders of a president who is trying his best to keep the Congress in Republican hands so that he won't have to face a lot of investigations in next year. And the legislature and this governor kowtowed to him. But it was racism pure and simple, and everybody should know that and understand that. And to Ken's point, do something about it by go out and vote, because there's still some opportunities here. As we said in last week's show, we meaning the people of Memphis who don't like this, not a party issue for me, there's a chance that this will backfire in District 5.
Oh, yeah.
And a possibility that it will backfire in District 9. But District 5 is where the possibilities are.
And if you're going to go vote, which you should, know who you're voting for.
Exactly.
I have one quick question, and I know we're running into time, but I did want to ask you guys about the role that federal judges and even state court judges play right now. I know you said inevitably Supreme Court, it could go that far, and then they, usually make the decision that everybody can predict. But what stance do federal judges, what can they take right now to at least, show some sort of boldness or goal?
There's no way that, as a journalist, me sitting at this table can tell you or tell a federal judge what he's going to do or what he should do. It's just a topic that
me
doesn't
either.
work.
And I covered federal court for many, many years, and I understand federal law to some degree as a reporter sitting in the courtroom. But there are some arguments to be made about whether the 14th Amendment, 15th Amendment have been violated here. And if there's a judge out there who can see that and stop this, but again, this is a runaway train right now. I just don't see it. Ken?
I'm just not familiar with the federal courts in Middle Tennessee.
Okay. Well, on that note, we are running out of time. We have so much more to get to. On the other side of the break, we're going to go back down to local level and talk about the sheriff candidates and what they think about a new jail and the Memphis Safe Task Force.